Well, look who's off the road. It's finally our guy, Scott Hastings. Welcome to Hot Mike with Hastings and Lindahl. The Hot Mike. It's hot, really
So don't
hot.
don't tell me anything about the game yet, because here's what I did. I went and put Ellie to bed, Junior Warden, and Senior Warden pushed pause on the thing. So I'm just at the 7 minute mark.
Of the beginning?
No, third period, tied at 2.
You're welcome.
Ooh,
Um,
can I say something? Like I said, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know where we're going to go. I don't know what's going to, can the Nuggets or can the Avs, whatever. But I will say this: you changed your completely goaltending room, completely changed it in the middle of the year, or actually right before the middle of the year, and you are much better at that position for doing that. They are better at goaltending, and you and I were both, early on. And even their second or the first goal they gave up, another one of those backside. Blame it on Ivan. Ivan on the offensive corner up there because he didn't control the puck, but you got 200 feet to cover him, and another backside goal. But boy, their goaltending is much better.
yeah, man, goaltending's really good. Too bad the rest of it isn't. Yeah, I don't know, dude. I'm frustrated with this team, so I don't know what to say. I feel like me and Nate, and it's the old Lindahl curse, really. A couple 3 weeks ago, I told Nate I do think the Avs are you know, they're the new leader in the clubhouse to get us another parade because Blackwood was playing so well, and then Nichushkin gets hurt, and everyone's hurt. You're just not big enough with that Nichushkin. That's just all there is to it. You don't have enough size, so.
Well, we had Connor McGahey on our show on PhD today, and he basically said I was because I brought that same thing up. You go back to 2 years ago from the Seattle thing to even last year, Nichushkin didn't play, and it's amazing how you change the chemistry of your changes. Your team changes when he's not in.
Yeah, because again, you only had two guys like him, Scotty. It's the same old story with this team. And look, I love high flying, high scoring offense. I don't want anybody to think that I don't. But here's the flat out reality about this thing. You struggle to score goals against guys like Connor Hellebuck because you're not big enough to take his eyes away. And even look at everything that's going on tonight. Now, look, they had one of those goals that went off a guy's side into the net, and blah, 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 and whatever.
Oh, by the way, yes, but that guy standing in front of an Avalanche defenseman.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And look, they got guys swarming. Every team has always has dudes around the net ready for a rebound. We don't have enough net presence, and I'm not coming off of it. I'm just not. So it's, I don't know what to say. It's fine to be the high scoring team when you got 100 guys going and scoring 50 goals a year, but you don't have Nazem Kadri anymore. You don't even have, let's think about some of the scores that they've lost. I'm trying to remember the guy that went to Seattle that they don't have anymore. Doggone it. What was the guy's name? He bounced between the second and third line, but he had a little sniper in him. I'm going to have to go back and just look it up because I'm never going to get his name. But, it's very frustrating to me that at some point you're not able to outscore your problems anymore the last 2 years. You know what I mean? Since you won the cup, you've been unable to outscore your problems.
Well, and you're playing tonight's a great example of that. I mean, you're playing the team that leads your division, right? I mean, you're playing one of the best teams in the West, and you're going to play. Guess what? A 3-2 game, a 2-1 game, and can you win those games? And I don't know if you can win, 2-1 games or even 3-2 games with just speed very often.
So I'm looking at it right now. Here's who you had from the 22 team. You had Rantanen, McKinnon, Nazem Kadri, Cale Makar, Andre Burakovsky is the guy I'm trying to think about. Burakovsky had sniper in him, and he was up and down the year, the cup year, but the guy could still score and provide lower level scoring.
Well, he came back. Didn't he get benched like in that first series?
Yeah, and then he
of the
came back and
playoffs, and then came back later in that first series and the second series and was great.
yeah, but again, you couldn't afford him. Gabe Landeskog, Devon Tays, Val Nichushkin, JT Compher, Alex Newhook, Sam Girard, Eric Johnson, Logan O'Connor, Abe Kubel, Bo Byram, Darren Helm. Darren Helm, don't forget, Darren Helm was the guy. Darren Helm was, as a matter of fact, the dude that scored as late almost as possible against St. Louis to give you the 6-2 or the 4-2 series win there and get out of there before that thing got butt cheek tight time. So, and then you added Lehkonen, you had Jost, but, and then you had the size of Jack Johnson and Josh Manson, a healthy, younger Josh Manson. You still had Eric Johnson, a healthy, younger Eric Johnson. Curtis McDermott, he didn't play much during the playoffs. You added Nico Sturm when you needed that size later on. You had Andrew Cogliano as the veteran guy. My point in reading all this to you is you had big players, you had depth throughout the lineup. You don't have that anymore. Half your damn team's hurt. It was announced today that Val's going to miss more time. That's frustrating as hell, frankly. Because again, without Val and without Gabe, you don't have no size. You went and got Duhaime and you went and got Trennan, and I heard, Connor made a comment during the game the other day against the Wild, because Trennan plays for the Wild, and Connor was like, well, and I'm not, that isn't a mock Connor voice, but Connor's like, hey, Trennan just wasn't the player advertised with Colorado when he got here because Trennan scored against him. But Trennan was still a big dude, Kivi Ranta's been a guy in and out of the lineup, but you need a Kivi Ranta type. You haven't replaced the grid of Andrew Cogliano. My point in all this is real simple. There's your boy D-Mac off to the side of Cale McCarr. My point in this is all real simple, Scotty. You don't have outscore your problems kind of talent going right now. Frankly, I'm starting to wonder if you're going to. I think you have to accept, you have to start to build the lower lines a little more, quote unquote, traditionally. You've got to get some bigger guys to take the eyes of the goaltender away. And since Val has been out, you tell me, Lehkonen goes and does it, but Lehkonen's, he's fighting off some midseason bumps and bruises too. He's not the biggest guy going. You don't, again, you had Gabe Landeskog parking his big Swedish rear end in front of a goalie. He wasn't easy to move. That led to battles in front. That's distracting. You just don't have a lot of that going on anymore. And I think this team is suffering because of it. Because you're right. With the net mining they have, that should improve a lot, but it hasn't just yet.
Yeah, they. I agree. You say it more eloquently than me. I just know this. With that team you listed off that won the championship did have a lot more size than this team does. And it's basketball and hockey's the same way, and maybe even the NFL if we're being real serious. But as you go deeper into the playoffs, the ice, the hardwood, the field shrinks. Every mistake becomes more expanded, bigger. The games, Denver's the Nuggets are having they had a great opportunity with about a minute to go. They could have stuffed it in. I tell you what, that Hallebuck, was that his name? God dang, he always plays good against the Avs, though, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's probably going to win the Vezina. But again, just look at the highlights. Watch the highlights when they come up. I mean, they get some goals tonight, but it's because Nathan MacKinnon is awesome. Matter of fact, both their goals are awesome Nathan MacKinnon goals, right? I'm pretty sure.
No, the one was McCarr, a good pass by Random. McCarr does a Bobby Orr fly across the net, gets stripped, and scores. But they don't have the size, and the game slows down just a little bit. And I know when they won that cup, I mean, there was times when they played even the Lightning, right? There was times when the Lightning looked like they were like slow molasses, and the Avs. But the game just shrinks a little bit come postseason, and that's where size starts to matter a little bit. And, even what's our guy that was so good in the playoffs, and we lost him the next year to free agency, the center, second line.
Nazem Kadri.
He ain't a big guy, but you know what he is? He's nasty.
Well, he's nasty. He's not afraid to get beat up. He plays a gritty game.
Yes.
Again, you've not had a player like him since then. You just haven't.
And you know what? And it ain't about the size always. So maybe that's the key. Is it's not the size. You and I, we're looking for guys look like me and you, kind of. But we should be saying we need grit. You need grittier guys in front of the net, and they haven't. They don't have that without Nichushkin, really. And I'll give you an example. Russell Westbrook's changing a lot of people's minds in Denver about who he is, right?
Changed a lot of people's minds in the NBA about who he is.
You know what? He ain't a big guy, but I'll tell you what, that's a gritty dude, man. Watched him watch. We played San Antonio. He's guarding Wembanyama. Wembanyama's 7'6".
Who was it that did he yell at a guy on the Clippers where he said, "You better box my ass out"? I'm not sure box your ass out.
Yeah, the 7'1" center they got that weighs about 290.
Yeah, he didn't care.
No.
And frankly, Russell Westbrook is the perfect comp to Kadri. They're the same type of player. They're not the most popular when you play them. They don't care because they're here to win, and you need it, man. You need it.
That's a good. I'm going to use that tomorrow. Is Russell Westbrook the Kadri of this team?
Yeah. And look at the effect it's having.
I would love to hear from Avs fans and kind of crossover fans what they think about that. I think that's a good comparison, Andy.
Well, there's just an asshole to him. I'll say it. We're on a podcast. There's an asshole to him. You need a couple assholes. Guess what? Shannon Sharp was an asshole. Bill Romanowski was an asshole. You can't have a bunch of – we don't need – again, when it comes down to really winning the championship, guess who else an asshole? Travis Kelce. He's about to go –
Malik Jackson was an asshole.
Yeah, absolutely. And you needed him. So, you know what? So is but just about the whole damn secondary, frankly. Aqib Talib, TJ Ward, Darren Stewart was a low-key asshole. No, ain't nobody wanted to get hit by his nasty ass. I'm just telling you, man. I'm just – dude, they were gritty receivers. I watched it with my own eyes. They were as close. They in modern times for the intimidating they did as a secondary. And look, there's no doubt that there's times Kadri played over the edge. That hit against the St. Louis player, that the year prior to the Cup, that was a problem. But yeah, you just saw the game winner.
Yeah. Can I say this? And I was going to
wait till you see Wait till you see the replay where McCarr and McKinnon don't talk about whose guy it is, and they both turn around and he's skating into the open.
Well, you got 10 possible points on this homestand. You're going to get 5.
It's terrible. Again, they're frustrated. You got to be making a charge. You're not crawling out of wild card territory with this at this point.
McKinnon just quit on the play, stopped to look backside, but he was the guy that was closer. Anyway, it was a heck of a shot, though. I mean, it was a good shot.
Yeah, I mean, he caught the top corner, but
top left corner.
But again, listen, Joe Sakic and Chris McFarland did their job. You wanted new goaltending, you got it. Well, now the rest of you got to step up, man. The rest of you got to step up. I'm sick of this crap. Come on. This is unacceptable. The bullshit the other day was the unacceptable. How are you going to lose to Minnesota? You can make all that face. It was a bullshit game, and you know it.
Yep.
You know it. You're in your own house, and you're going to lose to that team. They're down there, 2 top defensemen and a top scorer. And you're going to let them come get 2 points in your house when you're the damn team that needs the points? Come on, man. What are we doing?
Tell us how you really feel, Andy.
I think tomorrow we just need a dump button on the terrestrial show, and I think you need to go this way.
Well, I've been asking for the last couple of games. I don't get it. Mackenzie Blackwood's the best goalie you've had in here since Varlamov, easily. The dude has made stand on his head saves a couple of times because you just keep letting guys skate into your damn zone. I mean, come on, man. Come on. And I realize you got hurt and your lower 6 forwards are not the guys you want playing in their minor leaguers. And, I'm starting to wonder if some of the, who is it, 70, the young defenseman and hadn't played for a couple games. I mean, Malinsky, I don't know, man. Maybe he's not the answer. I don't know. But I know this. You've got to start playing. You've got to start playing the way that it's kind of like you were rich in your Cup year. Well, now you got to start living on the freaking middle class budget. You got to start living that way. You got to get a little scrappier Because you know what I see out of there? And again, this is where my lacrosse background, I swear, comes in. I see a team that most of these guys are shooting, hoping. They're not confident about their shots when they play this top-tier kind of team, especially against Hellebuck. There was one time Mikko has a great chance to shoot it. Instead, he's trying to feather a pass down to get a perfect shot in because nobody believes they're going to score against the guy. You can't play that way. You didn't play that way in the playoffs last year. You fired at the net and you got traffic in front. It's a simple concept, man.
Well, I'm going to say some things. The power play has been horrible.
Yeah, it's worthless right now.
Worthless. And I was going to say this because it happened earlier with the 2 minor penalties. Who I'm starting to like Middleton a little bit. Eric Middleton.
Oh, Keaton Middleton.
Keith Middleton. I kind of like him. He was giving that guy the business down on the ice right there. That's pretty good. But I watched that whole thing and I'm like, why are the Avs with the athlete and the speed? When you go 4-on-4, guess what you got? Open ice. You got a lot. They're horrible.
Yeah.
They didn't even. I don't even know if they got it in Winnipeg's zone. With any serious kind of threat. The whole 2 minutes, a minute 45, they were in their own zone.
I know.
And then 4-on-4, you get here in the overtime. You play 45 seconds, 30 seconds.
Well, you know what annoys me, and I'll say it too, and this will be an unpopular take. The players will probably yell at me for it, and that's fine. This Four Nations thing they're about to go do, man, with the way the Avs are playing, I don't want any of you go playing in that. You better get some rest, get yourself right. Because again, you got a window. You got a window. All right. Hell, for all we know, you may not have Rantanen after this year. You may not have Rantanen after the deadline if he doesn't agree to a contract extension. So you're gonna let another player get chipped away from the core that actually got you there, man. It's about this. It's about the cup. I don't give a damn about this Four Nations thing. You're all gonna go play.
Oh, I hate this. Yeah, I'm with.
And if someone gets hurt in that, that's a big cap number. I'm over it, man. I'm just done. This team needs to go on a run. Look, the Nuggets need to go on. It's not just the Avs. Nuggets have a great opportunity the next. Nate laid out the 10 games prior to the All-Star break, and if the Nuggets really play serious like they talked about in post-game last night, they may win 8 of those games. I'll account for a couple off nights or something, but you're not playing. I don't know. The East Coast swing, New York's going to be a tough game. That's probably not, one that you're probably going to get, but maybe, I don't know, maybe you'll show up and want to give them some back for what they did to you. You're certainly in a much better spot than when they rolled through town, but you should go on a pretty good run. I keep waiting for this run out of the Avs, and instead I tune into my TV and I don't know what I'm looking at sometimes. It doesn't feel like the club that we know. And look, I'll say Danielle Miller's asking the question, do the Avs have a Bednar problem? Well, I don't know, but you know what? I know this. Look, we all love Coach Bednar. He brought you the cup. But Bob Harley didn't get this many years. Mark Crawford didn't get this many years. If this keeps going on, I don't know what else you do.
I'll just say this. And if you need a change of Bednar or a Malone or a Sean Payton or, Bud Black, whoever it is, if the first reason that you want to get rid of those guys, the guys aren't playing hard, then I'm telling you, and now this comes from the mountain of wisdom. So I work with Mount Columbus. So I'm going to give you Mount Wisdom. You ain't got the right guys.
Well, that's fair, bro, because this is.
They fired. Remember when the Nuggets fired? What was my guy they fired when they were doing 1, 2, 3 Cancun?
Brian Shaw.
And they said the guys quit on him and blah, blah, blah. And they fired him. He lost the team. They quit and they fired him. Got the wrong guys. I said it then. And you know what happened? All them guys that quit on him, within 9 months, all them guys were gone. Within a year, them guys were all gone. So guess what? You did have the wrong guys, but you still blew out a coach. So if that's your first reason to get rid of a Bednar or whatever coach it is because the guys that quit, you got the wrong guys. This is sports. The guys that you're saying aren't playing hard. The McKinnon, who's a Hall of Famer, MVP, and he's skating half speed and looked around and not talking. Well, if he can make a tactical mistake like that, That's on Bednar?
Fair enough.
Come
I
on.
don't know what the answer is, though, Scotty. We're all grasping at straws. I'm not telling you Bednar turned into a bad coach. I don't think so. I think Bednar is a hell of a coach, but I don't understand what I'm watching here.
The problem is you've got a salary cap and you ain't got you're top heavy right now.
Well, and look, that goes back to your point about McKinnon. Even Bednar said it in post game. We're relying on our stars. No one else is doing anything. And no matter how hard they try, they keep trying to add supporting staff pieces. This is the second year now this has happened. Remember last year when it was Tatar and Tatar got shipped out quickly, and then Ryan Johansson got shipped out quickly, and like all these dudes we brought in that were supposed to be good ended up not being worth a lick of salt, and they all got shipped out just as fast. I mean, you got to figure this out, though. See, and again, the frustration that I got, I don't know what you do. Guys get hurt, but man, this is why I say when Val is out and it's this big a difference, then I think you need more size to go to. Because if Val alone, and look, Val is a hell of a forward. I heard Connor's interview with you. He talked about he should be up for the Selke, and I don't disagree. But again, I know this. Val's big, tall body still takes the eyes of a goalie away, okay? You know what I mean? And look, Kadri wasn't small, but Kadri wasn't a giant like Val, but he wasn't small like some of the other guys. Yeah. So,
and he was gritty.
He was at least 6 feet tall. I mean, we interviewed him in person a couple of times. He came on our show. Dude was as tall as I was. That, put that on skates, that'll help with the, trying to get in front of the goal. It just is what it is. I just and look, I get this way because I love this team so damn much.
Yeah,
I do. I love my hockey.
I don't think you would like anybody more than the Broncos, and I think the Avs are 1A for you.
Well, but you're right. But I you know how it is, Scotty. You lived it as an athlete, but you even know it as a journalist. When you just know behind the scenes, I've got numerous people to fill me in on what's really the deal with the Broncos, and I got a pretty good fair share of people to do it for the Nuggets. I don't have that many people to really tell me what's truly going on behind the scenes at the Avs, so I'm allowed to have a little fan ignorance, if you will, and that's why I get angry and I love them. But this shit's driving me nuts, man, because I want them. You've got to get to me, I think this is a dynastic team, but you're not going to be called that if you don't get at least one more cup. That core group of the Avs, and now look, in fairness, it took them 5 years between cups from 96 to 2001, but they still got their 2 cups with the main people in place.
Well, and
the Nuggets are in the same spot, by the way. And the Nuggets got the same issue. They should be a dynastic team with the best player in the world. But you and I both know for history to be kind to them, they've got to go get another one.
Yeah.
Well, and you've got the guys special enough to do it, quite honestly.
Here's see if you agree with this. As far as individual players, and we can talk Makar, we can talk Nathan McKinnon, Rantanen, Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, the big names for those teams. They will always go down in a positive light through history because they won a championship, whether it's fair enough. Listen, when we have arguments about one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, the NFL, Dan Marino's never talked about anymore. And I'm going to tell you what, if you want to put pure talent up and throwing and stuff he did, he's as good as anybody's playing now. I mean, but guess what he didn't have? Never got a Super Bowl. And so
no, he did not.
Talking about the top guys, he's kind of always forgotten about a little bit. So we've got the individual stars that won't be forgotten. McKinnon and Makar will be talked about for a long time. Joker will be talked about for a long time. They got a championship. But the franchises won't be talked about for a long time if they can't win a second one, to be real honest with you.
Well, and again, you know what? I'll give you another great example. Pat myself on the back there. What about the Buffalo Bills? The Buffalo Bills 4 years in a row went to the Super Bowl. Even Kansas City hasn't pulled off, and neither has New England pulled off, I don't think, going 4 years in a row. So, but they didn't win any. So nobody ever tells you about those 90s Buffalo Bills teams. Jim Kelly should be talked about. Thurman Thomas, Andre Reed, Bruce Smith,
The individuals are, but the teams never remembered. And
Bad,
got
how often
4
do we
Hall of
talk
Fame-
about Jim Kelly, the quarterback, anymore, my friend? He was, I mean, again, he led a team in the AFC with John Elway and Dan Marino and all these greats we're talking about. He got the Bills there 4 straight years in a row. We don't ever talk about that guy on the list like you were just saying.
No. And I'll be honest with you, this sounds kind of callous. If not for his illness, he probably really would have been forgotten about, except maybe in Buffalo. I mean, he's beloved in Buffalo, and that's great, and that's always going to be. But, and I'm sure Marino, heck, I don't know about the makeup of Miami. I don't even know where all Miami fans live anymore. But, has he talked about anywhere except in Miami?
Marino?
Yeah.
It's funny, Scott, because it just tells you how time changes things. I don't hear him thrown around anymore, right? Because Marino's place in history with the guy that was so great that didn't win one, he's kind of been replaced by Phillip Rivers, right? Phillip Rivers had all those numbers in with San Diego, and they never won anything, right?
And no one ever talks about Phillip Rivers
ever. So,
but Elway still gets mentioned.
Yeah, because he's got 2, because he got it done. Showed up in 5, got it done in 2.
But I still think all these individual stars will still be remembered because they do have a championship and then they have great individual accolades. And so they'll always be remembered in the annals of basketball and NHL and everything else. But the organization won't.
No.
I mean, how many years ago? I mean, and I know maybe some of our younger audience hadn't paid attention because no one, unless it's a kitty cat video or some porn, no one's getting on the the internet anymore to look at good stuff.
Sometimes they're the same thing.
Yeah, sometimes. But if I say the word "bad boys" to you, guess what you remember?
Pistons.
You remember that team, right?
Damn right I did.
That team, and you know what they got? Multiple championships.
Yeah. We could go on and we could talk about the bad boys, could talk about the mid-90s Cowboys, talk about the Broncos. You could talk about the Patriots, listen, the Red Wings had their own dynasty going there for a while. I hated it, but after they had that long strike, Red Wings came back, got some more cups. The Avs just now have got back into a golden age.
Well, here's the funny thing, and I don't know if this is fair. McKinnon might be one of the best players that's ever laced him up for the Avalanche, but if he doesn't win another championship, he's not going to surpass Joe Sakic.
No, he won't. And as you talk about period in time, if McDavid, people still, even with his championship, people still put McDavid ahead of McKinnon quite often. Because remember, Cale got the Conn Smythe that year, not Nate. So.
Yeah, but it'll be interesting to see if McDavid never wins one, how he's remembered.
I'm with you, but everybody acts like, But again, it goes back to your point. Well, who's the greatest of all time? Nobody questions. It's Gretzky. Yeah. He did a lot of winning and a lot of championships.
Yep.
One with the Kings, one with the Oilers. I mean, the guy did his thing, right? Called the great one for a reason. So anyway, I don't know, man. It just kind of, and look, it's January. Maybe they get on one of their heaters that they were famous for in that cup season. But I'm just telling you, man, injuries, all that other stuff. It's just, you got to take advantage of this. You got to. How about your boy Joker? Did you ever finally get to see the belt that Shaq said he was going to send to Joker?
Yeah.
That was funny, wasn't it?
Warden recorded it. Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Hey, by the way, 50 Cent himself tweeted out, hey, if the man says he'll sing, I'll come back him up. We're going to perform. So 50 Cent is telling Joker he's coming to town to perform this song with him. He better be ready.
Where's the All-Star breaks in San Francisco this year? If the NBA was smart, they would talk to Joker's people and 50 Cent and try to get something worked out with the Joker and 50 Cent for that.
Damn right. That'd be fun.
Oh, gosh. Hey, he does that. That'll put him at a new level.
Oh, it will. Look, don't you like, you know what I like? I think now that Joker's been around enough All-Star games, guys, it feels to me like, I know LeBron still refuses to shake anybody's hand as he walks off the floor and ever gets his ass whooped, and it's been plenty by the Nuggets lately. But like Kevin Durant came over, the big smile for him and all that. I feel like guys really are it just feels like guys genuinely kind of like Joker. Am I misreading that? You would know better than me, but
I do, and I do appreciate this of him that he, win or loss, and I see a lot of guys that like Joker's played last four games. Last four games he's played, guess what he hadn't had to do? Play in the fourth quarter.
right.
And oh, by the way, he still got triple doubles in all four of those games. And yet, most guys I'll see will just start walking off the bench. Their shoes are off, and they're already heading to the locker room. He still goes over, says something to all the coaches, talk to all the players, and it's really funny. And because I really do watch this every night. How many guys that were like the Scott Hastings of the team? They'll be walking, they'll see Joker walking over, and all of a sudden they'll meander a little bit more to the right so they can at least get a five or a bro hug or something. I see that every night. Dudes are going up to make sure, and I guarantee you they're getting on the phone. Hey, dude, the Joker gave me a dap tonight. Oh, I guarantee you. I told you that story. I helped stretch Magic Johnson out in this stupid All-Star game I played in one time in the summertime, and we got done after the game we played. He goes, "Hey, we're all going to go to this party downtown. Detroit's in Detroit. We're going to blah, 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 blah. You got to come." I said, "Okay, cool." Man, I got home. I couldn't wait to call my boys and say, "Dude, I was stretching Magic Johnson out. I had his leg up. That's the year he's come back from the hamstring. I was stretching out his hamstring, and then he invited me a party, man." And finally, about the third call, my one guy goes, "Well, what the hell are you doing calling me for?"
Yeah, why are you at the party?
Yeah.
Did you end up going to the party?
No, I came downstairs right when I saw the limo leaving, and I felt kind of like, okay.
I had that. I told you my famous San Diego Super Bowl experience. I don't know. I know how you felt because we were at these parties and I was like, God, I don't belong here. Why am I here? It's nothing but sports royalty. But, hey, free drinks.
Yeah, there you go. I passed it up. Yeah, I passed up the story. He goes, "Oh, yeah, I got blitzed one night with Magic Johnson."
Hey, well, I told you there was the one we were sitting at the dinner. I remember we were sitting at a dinner with it was me and Schlereth and Dave Diaz-Infante, who knew the whole NFL. And he Doc had recently played with Doc's Dave Diaz-Infante, for those that don't know, but he played with the Eagles. So two of the Eagles all-pro offensive linemen, when they had Deuce Staley and Donovan McNabb and all those dudes, were John Wellborn and John Runyon. They were the guard and the tackle. So Runyon and Wellborn want to come and hang with Doc, and I'm sitting with these four offensive linemen. Wellborn's telling the story about whooping Warren Sapp's ass and all the things they're saying back and forth to each other and how he owns Sapp, and I just had me sit next to Wellborn, and he kept demonstrating moves on me, man. Like, this is an all-pro left guard, not Pro Bowl, all-pro left guard or something, and the dude keeps eating he's separating my shoulder. I'm like, bro, please hit one of the other guys. I ain't built for this, man. I am not. My shoulder's like hanging out the socket. Please, no more Warren Sapp stories. I want to hear anymore. I can't move my arm, dude.
Oh. You go, "Andy, how'd you dislocate your shoulder?" "Dude, this all pro guy kept slapping me, showing me swim moves and stuff."
I'm not kidding you. At one point, I was trying not to cry. It hurts so bad. I was like, nah, please stop hitting me.
Oh.
So anyway, all right, Scotty. NFL playoffs. You got predictions for what Super Bowl are we getting?
I don't know who's playing.
Bills, Chiefs, and Commanders, Eagles.
Well, listen, I like Josh Allen.
Do you?
That Wyoming connection. I grew up a Chiefs fan until I started working for the Broncos, and I've not been able to get back. I find it funny when Gronk says, "Man, we got a lot of calls. We didn't get as many as these guys get." I thought that was kind of a funny comment he said on Fox last week. I don't know. I think everybody made fun of the Chiefs because they weren't just dominating people all year. And yet Leggy makes a good point. So people forget that 2015 wasn't real dominant in the regular season either. And they won themselves a Super Bowl. Still got to beat the Chiefs, and you have to beat them at home. Gronkowski and Kelsey, Gronkowski, that last year they won in Tampa. Everybody's like, why did he come back? He ain't got nothing left. Look, he can't do anything. All year. Kelsey's fat. He's out of shape. He needs to, and all of a sudden now here's the playoffs. So they know how to win. So that's scary. And Bill's yet to know how to win. The other side, I kind of like Jaden Daniels. I mean, Philadelphia. And let's be honest, as obnoxious as Kansas City fans are, as goofball and crazy as the Buffalo Bills fans are, who knows who Washington's fans are. Philly just got some mean fans, man. I just find it hard to ever cheer for them in anything.
I like Jaden Daniels. Probably not a popular opinion here, but I think that he's a fun guy to watch. And you know what? I think go ahead and let a rookie win this thing. Go ahead and let a rookie quarterback win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I don't mind it if it's him. Now, again, I'm rooting hard for the Bills, but there's a part of me that wonders if the Bills, let's be honest, the more dominant physical team would have been the Ravens, but like the Ravens all year, they just found a way to lose a game they shouldn't have, and they did again. So I am rooting for the Bills because we got a lot of Bills fans that I know that I like. I think they're a good group. I don't know if you saw the cool story where, after Mark Andrews got a bunch of death threats and hate from his own fan base for dropping the ball, Bills fans are up to over $60,000 in donations to Mark Andrews Foundation just to be like, hey, it's just a game. Let's relax a little bit. So I think they're a good group. I'd love to see Buffalo finally get their Super Bowl, frankly. But I'd be all right if the Commanders came back and did it. Let me ask you this too. So Major League just popped on. All right. I was flipping around and Major League is now on. I think we're on the road trying to get some stuff done. We got the news that the great Bob Uecker died. And I can remember there's a guy I had to try to chase for your radio program and this and that. I think we'd seen it. Do you have any great Bob Uecker stories? I'm putting you on the spot. If you don't, I'm sorry. But
I mean, no, other than I remember early in my career, I thought, maybe I could be the basketball's version of Bob Uecker. In fact, I think someone told me that one time, 30 years ago, 25 years ago. But no, he was I thought he was hysterical. You didn't miss him when he was on Johnny Carson. I mean, I thought he was funny as heck. The light beer commercials that he did Miller Lite, he was killing in those Miller Lite. Heck, he probably made tenfold more money, being a caricature of himself than he did ever playing baseball.
Did you know he came through Denver? He was a Denver Bear.
Yeah.
Somebody shared that fact with us. I had no idea.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
What's it like? What you talked about him maybe being a guy you could model your career after a little bit. What was the hardest thing going from player to commentator?
Realizing you're not a player. I started, my first jobs were calling the games, that 93, 94 team. I played basically with everybody on that team. Brian Stith and LaFonso and Dikembe were all my rookies. I played with Pack. I played with Mahmoud. I mean, all them guys were my guys, and I went from, playing and whatever to, turn around now. I'm traveling with them, doing the same stuff, except now broadcasting. And it was a whole lot of we's and us. I remember sitting down one time. I don't remember if it's my first year doing it or the first or second year. It might have been the second year even. I don't know. But it was a home game, and I'm still doing sidelines to some of the home games. Dave was doing color at home games. And I'm sitting underneath the back stanchion, and plays going on right in front of me, and I am cursing up a storm at the official on the baseline. And I'm sweating bullets. I mean, I remember this. I was in a black jacket, white shirt, red tie. And they were playing Houston. I'll never forget it. And from the back stanchion, I mean, I'm sitting on the stanchion, and there's the out of bounds right there. The official's 8 feet, and I'm just yelling at him. And that's when it hit me. I went, dude, what are you doing? You ain't a player anymore. You ain't playing, this ain't your game. So that was the hardest thing for me. It was just going from that to that. And then even when I made the adjustment or the transition into doing Broncos games, a lot of those guys I met in golf tournaments and, stuff like that, and, drinking buddies and stuff like that before I started actually working, and calling games and doing stuff like that. So then I had a good relationship. I mean, I had a good relationship with the entire offensive line because I'd go and hang and play darts with Stink or Nayland or somebody like that every Friday. I sit down every week with Shannon Sharp and then Rod Smith and then John Lynch. And so all those guys, and I wasn't that much older than all of them back then either. So now you just, I told the story of the show today. At halftime, I went up and took a pee. I did radio, so I'm up to 260, went down the thing, took a pee, came back. Some guy stopped me. Hey, I loved your show, man. We listen all the time. Listen, we love your announcer. Hey, man, thanks. And so I trying to make sure if I got time, give time. And I said, "No, what was your name?" And, I'm Craig. How you doing, man? I just want to say, man, I just love your show. And now I got to turn and go back down to where I sit. I go, "Thanks, son." I'm like, and I took about 2 steps and I went, this guy was probably 34, 35. So, and I called him son. I'm like, what?
Hey, that's all right. You know what that means though? You've entered your Colonel Potter phase.
I guess so.
That's all that means.
Everybody in comments, go run off and find out who Colonel Potter is.
He called everybody son. Remember? Called Radar son all the time.
Yeah, well, he was like a son to him.
Yeah. So anyway, all right. Well, we'll wrap this one up. By the way, we got a lot of content out of your boy D-Mac and his desire to shower publicly. Did you hear any of that on the ride home? I thought of you when I started talking about it. There's a generational divide a little bit in there. Because I was saying that, again, the lacrosse team didn't matter to anybody in my school, so we got stuck. Like, we didn't have showers. They shoved us. They basically, I'm not kidding. I wish I took pictures back in the day. I had dilapidated and run down this stupid trailer they shoved us all in. Like, dude, it would be February when we just got the season going, and whoo, talk about in the pool. I was in the pool as you're changing in a 20-degree day, and I don't even think there was windows on this stupid trailer. There were no lockers in there. It's just find a space and change and get your butt out to the field. So I just never had to do the public shower thing. But your boy D-Mac shower anywhere.
Well, but you know what? He's had complaints because he rides his bike to work, and the morning show kills him because he says he stinks up the green room.
Oh, I've told you, he smells like eggs and he gets going. I said it to him on the show the other day. He got mad at me. But when he was drumming with us, I was like, whoo, it is a potent little area. I used to set my amp up yonder. Luckily, he was on the back line.
Well, I bet, and he probably sweat a lot, did he? When he was
because he's doing the most work of any of us, man. That's why all the drummers take their shirts off. You ever seen Travis Barker play a show with a shirt on? No, they got the biggest workout going.
And Travis Barker's about the size of your little finger.
Yeah, about that big. Yeah. So, what's the warden saying?
Who's Travis Barker?
Oh my God. All right, it's time to go. Jesus. I don't even know. You need to start going in a room where she ain't at when we do this damn podcast. That's all I got to say. All right. Well,
say good night.
Tell everyone good night. We'll do this again. Are we going to be able to do this again next week? When does your damn schedule let up?
Leave Friday, play Saturday, play Monday. We might have to do it Tuesday or Wednesday.
We'll do it Tuesday. Just book it Tuesday.
Tuesday from New York.
Tuesday from New York, 9:00. Be there.
There you go. Say good night, Gracie.
Good night, Travis Barker.